Welcome to the wake. I hope you guys had a blast with this movie. Okay? So, first off, Slaughter Beach, our very first independent movie. And thank you to Clock Out Films and Dan Davis for allowing us to put it on. This was we way back when we were talking about um what we wanted to do with Cemetery Cinema. I said I wanted to have some independent movies, and luckily I got to give props out to my really good friends at Delco Horror Haven. They hosted an event and it was cool. They hosted it in a restaurant. They showed the movie. They had beforehand, they had the actors, they had the producer, director came out, talked to everybody about the movie and what they were trying to accomplish and things like that. And then they showed the movie afterwards. They had a Q&A. They sat back. They had some beers with us. We talked. It was a blast, right? So, guys, Clock Out Films, thank you very much. Delco Horror Haven, thank you very much for holding all these events. And at the end of this, I got a big ass shout out to Delco Horror Haven. So, one of the things I loved about this movie, right, is you get into it at the beginning, you got the old man, right? He's yapping at his son and his buddy about not having a job, right? Now, I got to pop. After that movie, my first movie I did by myself, I got to celebrate, right? And this is a Victory Pretzel beer. It's good. I picked it up actually down at Slaughter Beach. It was good stuff down there. So, anyway, right? First one I did by myself. And let me tell you something. Without Dr. D's video editing, right? It was tough. It was hard for me, right? I'd never done editing like that before, right? So I gave it to him. He did some clips, right? And then the boss did some more cuts, right? Thank you guys both. You make me look good. And God knows, with this face and this body, it takes a lot to make me look good. But I had a blast. I love the movie, right? I love the fact that, like I said, the old man, right? We've all been through it, right? My dad said to me when I was like, at 20, he was like, dude, all right, you're 20 years old. You're in college, right? But you got to start doing stuff on your own, get a regular job. To which I did. You know, right? Him, with the Fender, the Bender, whatever, right? The superheroes they came up with, right? You had Action Boy, and you had I forget what the other guy's name was, Shoveler, right? I don't know, right? Anyway, right? It was fun. It was just a stupid, goofy movie with a lot of gore. To me, it reminded me a lot about, if you remember Student Bodies back in the day, boss, if you can get that, I'd work for free. Well, I'm working for free anyway, but I would definitely do that one, no cost, right? I love Student Bodies, but it's funny, and that's the thing. When you get to this genre, right, you have really, really hardcore horror, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? The Centipede, which we will never show. No, I will never show Centipede, and we won't talk about that again. But then you have the light-hearted stuff, right? You have the Gothic era you had all the Hammer films, right? The Atlas films, we'll probably getting some, right? And then, of course, right, Universal. Universal is the king of horror. And this is something that I'm hoping we get a lot more, especially with the independent movies. So, I'm currently in negotiations trying to get this werewolf movie. Hopefully we can get that one. We have one called Porch Pirate. We have one that we haven't seen it yet. The boss threw it out there. It's sort of like it's Screamwalkers. It's sort of like a Scream kind of ripoff, right? Not ripoff. A reimagining. Right? Okay. But I enjoyed it, right? And I love the golf cart, right? That was hysterical, right? And this like the ice cream chick, right? I liked her. I thought she was kind of cute. She's actually been in other horror movies, right? I think she was in a couple of other movies that Clock Out Films did. I don't know the name off the top of my head. Ugh, I'm parched. Cheers. But she was really good, right? And the person that did the graphics on it, I know we talked about this at the end of the movie, but she's great. So if you are um, doing a horror film, right, up and down the East Coast, right, this late, and her name's at the end of the credits. I don't know it off the top of my head. One more sip, but I loved it, and just still like how about the face off? I love that, right? And then the guy, right, the guy. Pardon me, I'm losing my hat. This is my beach hat. The guy that was that fisherman Sam or whatever his name was, right? Right. He was perfect in that. I don't know what to say. He was really good at that, right? And it was funny. So when I saw the movie at the premiere at the restaurant, right, when they poured out the cup with the bait and the finger came out, this lady who was sitting next to me went, "Oh my god, it's a horror flick," right? But it was fun. I loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did, right? We're going to have a lot more independent films. I'm going through some of the shorts we have. We're gonna try to throw a couple shorts in with the stuff we're doing. Um, there's these two guys from New York that it's funny. They know my cousin, right? When you say you know a guy, well now my cousin knows a guy who does horror, right? And then they put us in contact. They got a couple good shorts, right? Actually, one of my Eagle Scouts, he has a short. It's going to be on there. We talked about that. So the progression of our show is yes, we're going to show a lot of really gory movies, right? They're going to be cut when they're on the broadcast station, but for streaming and for on our Roku and on all of our independent stations, because what they're this the WON is actually showing cemetery cinema, right, on a lot of public access stations. And I found out when the ratings came in, we're huge in Fort Wayne, Indiana. People in Fort Wayne obviously like good horror, and they think I'm funny. They probably think the doc's funny, and they just watch it because I'm on it. But anyway, right? And don't know why. I was checking our YouTube channel, right? And we're huge in Vietnam. I don't know. Maybe Rambo likes us, and he showed us to a couple other people. Who knows? But anyway, so I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. A lot more coming, a whole lot more. We are working on a ton, making phone calls all the time, trying to get a lot more independent films, right? Along with our public access stuff. Next month we got, all right, we have Blood Farmer coming up. What a bad gory movie with druids. Druids, right? They are the dollar store pagan, right? Like I was explaining, I'll explain on the show, right? You have the Odinist, moi, right? And then you have like, different, different, boop, 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 all the way down. Then you get the pagan. They're down at the bottom. Unlike the pagan motorcycle group, which is actually up here, right? Don't be killing me. All right. And, um, you know, so you'll enjoy Blood Farmers, right? We have we have we have a werewolf movie coming up, right? A classic werewolf movie from Fox Pictures, right? I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head right now. That is really good. It's funny. We're funny, but the movie was only an hour two, right? 62 minutes. So we had a ton of filler, right? And you'll enjoy what the doc did when that movie comes up. The doc, I asked him, I said, hey, do you have any bits you could throw in there, right? And then he did a whole 15 minutes on the history of werewolves in cinema whilst mocking the crap out of me. Like, why am I everybody's, like, punching bag, right? I mean, I know I'm chubby, but come on. So, guys, come back next week. Actually, I don't know what we have on next week. It's one of our September movies, It hasn't been put out there yet, right? So, Johnny Rios, let us know, right? We got 4 movies in September. We got 5 in October. I don't know if we put out November's yet, except for the day after Thanksgiving for the Shorty Fest, right? We have Nosferatu coming up. We have a movie called Porch Pirate coming up, another independent movie. Screenwalkers. Oh my goodness. Around Christmas time, we have Santa Claus versus the Martians with Pia Zadora. If you guys, Pia Zadora was a heartthrob in the 80s, right? She's sort of like a discount version of Samantha Fox. If you guys don't know who Samantha Fox is, look her up. She could sing and she had a set of lungs, if you know what I'm saying, okay? And she was pretty good. She did mostly like operatic stuff. She was in plays, right? But she was really good looking, right? Well, she's the little girl in this movie. That was her very first movie, right? I actually saw this movie for the first time on at Dr. Shock, which was Philadelphia's premier horror guy, right? And I remember watching, I was probably like 11 years old, and I'm like, this movie is hysterical because it's so bad. They got one guy in the movie, he's like a Mickey Rooney ripoff, right? And they got the Santa, traditional Santa. The one guy, the reporter in it, I think he was in Bewitched, right? So it's a lot of people that like were down at the bottom working their way up, right? And there was a lot of people that never made it off the bottom rung in that movie. But it was funny. You'll love that, right? Coming Christmas time, right? And for next year, we haven't actually dished out what movies we're going to do in the coming new year. But trust me, we have a ton of indies coming up. And once the new year rolls around, that's a whole new year's worth of public domain movies, right? And you guys are going to love it. We're trying, right? Do me a favor, tell a friend, tell a brother, tell your priest, tell your bartender. Say, hey, there's this great show on mostly Fridays, and we won't be on next Friday. Now I'm thinking about it, because Strathaven is playing Ridley. If you guys are from Delco, right, that's a huge game, because Ridley, Strathaven is, they're one of the state champions. Ridley is always up there for state championships, right? You'll enjoy the hell out of it, right? And then, so we'll probably be on either Thursday or Saturday, depends, right? And last week we were on Saturday against Svengoolie, right? We didn't get the world's greatest numbers, but we did a lot better than we normally do. So thank you, my fans, very much. The Doc and I, from the bottom of our hearts, right? We appreciate you guys coming out, right? And last week, the Doc did his first one by himself. Well, the first one in Cemetery City. He's done a ton of other things on the Monster Channel by himself, right? He's hysterical. He don't need me. I don't know why I'm on the show, right? But don't tell him that, because, like, I need the work, even though I'm not getting paid. Why do I do that? Anyway, all right. So I want you guys to do me a favor, check what's going on next week. I believe, right, and I don't know yet. The boss will correct me, because he always does, because I always speak out of turn. We'll probably be on Saturday. If not, we'll be on Thursday, Saturday. Anyway, all right. So, again, thank you very much. Look forward to see you guys next week. If you're watching the Cemetery Cinema Facebook page, right, you'll see me promoting the living crap out of Ridley football next week. Ridley football is actually where all my sisters went. They're playing Strathaven. That's going to be a huge game, right? And Bars, Dolan's, they're in Ridley. Please put the game on, right? Help a guy who drinks there often. Not as often as I used to, because I don't live there. But anyway, right? If you're in Ridley Park, you're in Ridley Township, right? You're on Swarthmore Wood, not Swarthmore, Swarthmore Wood, right? Crumlin, that's actually the name of a town, Crumlin, right? Turn the game on WON Sports next week, right? We get bumped, but you know what? It's Ridley. even though it's Strathaven and they're the feed, right? I'm a Ridley guy, Go green. All right. So I will talk to you a million times before next Friday. But thank you very much. And this is the Mad Darbarian for Cemetery Cinema. For me, Doc Dredd, the boss Johnny Rios, right? Thank you very much. And do me a favor, 11:40 on the Monster Channel. Give Dr. D a view. He's reviewing a movie, as he always does, right? Pop in. You'll enjoy it. He's freaking hysterical. All right? Talk to you later. Have a great Labor Day weekend, right? For all you union members, everybody out there that works for a living, like me, like I used to before I was unemployed and took this job, which I didn't get paid, right? Do me a favor. Enjoy yourselves. Take a day off. Don't do any yard work. Sit back by the grill, some dogs, some brats, right? And have a handful of pops. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you next week. Mad Darbarian, out! See ya. Crap, how do I... Jimmy, help!